MRN Crew Call is brought to you by Hercules Tires.
Hi everybody, welcome to MRN's Crew Call. I'm Alex Hayden. Today, very special guest, David Gilliland, owner of DGR Crosley Racing, and all that he's got going on the ownership side of things. We'll talk to him about that. Plus, he's also a dad with a son who's going big time playoff racing in NASCAR. That and so much more. Stay with us here on MRN Crew Call.
Citywide to countryside. Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires has the value, selection, and industry-leading warranty to get you there, no matter where the road takes you. Go to HerculesTire.com. There you can find the nearest authorized Hercules retail location to you. Plus, you can use the tire tracker to find out which Hercules tire fits your vehicle the best. That's HerculesTire.com. Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
We welcome you back, and we've got our special guest with us, David Gilliland from DGR Crosley. A lot of people know him as David Gilliland, the race car driver. David, welcome to the program. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, anytime. So, obviously a successful driving career. The Gilliland name is synonymous with racing in general, but kind of give folks an idea what it's like now being on the ownership side of things and the challenges that you're having to deal with doing that.
It's a challenge for sure. You know, I'm a racer at heart, but I've owned my own teams before. You know, I'm out on the West Coast and owned Todd's late model stuff and some of that, and first K&N car. But definitely, you know, on the scale that we're at now with DGR Crosley and what has grown to, it definitely opens your eyes to a lot of other things and different parts of the business that as just a driver driving, you take for granted at times. And so it's definitely good, but I think, you know, being a racer and then owning a team, it's helped me a lot to really, make sure we have what I feel like we need to be competitive and be the best we can be and be able to kind of decipher, you know, through some of the things that maybe the crew chiefs want, but maybe don't need and things that we need and some of that stuff. So it's helped, but it's definitely a challenge each and every day.
Well, on that note, though, about trying to decipher what you need and what the cars or trucks need, you were able to put the helmet back on and jump back behind the wheel of a machine and go racing here recently to, I guess, do a little research and development yourself as the owner / driver to find out where the cars are and where they're at. How big of a challenge was it to get out there and say, yeah, I want to win the race, but I'm also here to do a little research?
Yeah, it is. You know, with us, with us being a Ford driver development team, I mean, that's what we are. We're developing drivers, and with the current situation and the limited practice that we have this year, it makes it tough. And, you know, we got drivers coming into our program that don't have a lot of experience. And so, you know, the reason they choose to come to a team like ours is because, you know, it's our job to provide them vehicles that can win races. And so, that gets challenging at times. And over the past few years, I've ran races throughout the year and kind of see where we're at and what we need. And it's really, really helped. And so this year I jumped in at Dover. We didn't win, we finished second, but definitely learned a lot and, feel like we're better from it. And so it's nice to be able to do that every once in a while and show the kids that I can still do it. So when we're sitting in our meetings, they listen a little bit more, but no, it's fun. I still really enjoy racing, just super busy on the ownership side right now. Don't get to do it quite as much as we'd like, but still have fun and enjoy doing it. And it's a key part, you know, for the kids that come through our program. It's nice to be able to sit down and when we go test, you know, some of the short track stuff like an ARCA and stuff like that, be able to hop in the car and review my data versus their data and, how I'm braking and how they're braking and just going over that stuff. It's really helped to cut the learning curve, you know, way down and minimize it, for a lot of the kids coming through our program.
You mentioned it's kind of a developmental type program, but you've got some names that have resumes behind them that want to be a part of your program. When you look at names like Haley Deegan with the resume that she's got behind her and the bright future, obviously the Grays, Tanner Gray, Taylor Gray, you used the word kids a couple of different times. Taylor Gray just turned 15 years old earlier this year. So then throw in Thad Moffitt. He's part of racing royalty, obviously, with the King, Richard Petty. Kind of put into perspective for folks who may not realize that this big roster you have, because you've got a world champion in Tanner Gray from the NHRA driving your equipment as well. To have these types of backgrounds and this type of caliber of driver that comes well connected, you've got your relationship obviously with Ford Motor Company. You've got yourself a pretty good program here, and I think it's a destination program in my opinion.
Yeah, it's something that we've worked really hard, and I'm very, very proud. And with Ford Motor Company, coming on board, and Ford Performance, that they have been incredible this year, and they've really taken us to the next level. And getting to put all those tools in place and get them all up and running. I think we've switched over 50 vehicles manufacturer wise over the course of this year. And so that's been busy, but definitely, I want something that people want to be a part of and look, to try and go there. Last year, Joe Gibbs sent his grandson to come race with us. That means a lot to me, in the program that we're building. And, we just want to be here to help kids and give them a chance, a legit chance with good equipment that they can go out and showcase their talent and work on truly developing them, and that's what we've been able to do with Tanner and Taylor. They have really, really bright futures ahead of them, and they've done a fantastic job. And, just racing is tough, right? And there's a lot of really, really good race car drivers that have been doing it a really long time. And so, our biggest challenge is just time, just minimizing that time gap and getting them the most experience we can in the shortest amount of time to help them get to the next level and hopefully be a part in one day when they're at the cup level, be able to say they came through our program.
Our guest today is David Gilliland with DGR Crosley Racing, and that's the DGR part of Crosley Racing. Bo Lamastus, who bought the Crosley brands a few years back, he's a racer at heart too. He's run some races as a driver as well. It's a partnership, and it takes that type of partnership, doesn't it, to really have success at this level?
Yes, it does. And Bo is an incredible guy, a racer too. Same thing, ran the ARCA series a long time, and long history of racing, motorcycles and all kinds of stuff in his background. And he's a really good guy, been a great partner. And he raced some races with us, racing the truck series some, and getting to know him has been really good. And it's been a really good partnership. So like you said, it's a tough deal, and it takes a lot of people and a lot of pieces. And Bo and the Crosley partnership has been fantastic for DGR Crosley.
Yeah, and David, you're getting to wear a lot of different hats. Right, wrong, indifferent, fun, not fun some days, but wearing the hat as the team owner, trying to develop race car drivers, trying to develop race teams. Then all of a sudden you've got the hat of, hey, I'm also a father. Your son Todd making the NASCAR Gander RV and Outdoors Truck Series playoffs as well. You just have to be beaming with pride about how good your son is doing. He's in the playoffs now. Time to make a little noise and go after a championship.
Yeah, I couldn't be more proud of Todd. He's I think he's got a bright future ahead of him. And, with being with Front Row Motorsports and, we have a semi-partnership there and do a lot of the work out of our shop there and in conjunction with Front Row. And that's been fantastic. And so I do get to be a little bit involved with Todd's stuff. And it's been a lot of fun watching him progress and kind of get his confidence back this year. Is kind of been knocked down a little bit over the last couple of years. And, every situation is different in racing, and every situation is not for everybody. And so, there's a lot of pressure, and there's, I use the word kids again, not just my kid, but, a lot of these young kids coming up. I mean, to deal with the different pressures that come with racing and any sport at a high level is extreme. And so, just been really proud of what he's been able to accomplish. And I think that, he's got a really good shot at going all the way. So have all the confidence in the world in him. And, with our teams working together and very closely, I think it's been able to help Tanner some through our program and, just kind of leaning on each other to be the best we can.
When you half pressure that racing involves. I mean, especially at this level. This is national level racing that you guys are doing here. So the pressure to perform is certainly there. Drivers that come through the program, they understand that. They want to be there. But I want to circle back because of the term kids that keeps getting thrown around there. Do you have to use a different approach sometimes with some of these younger drivers, more of a fatherly figure as opposed to team owner and team developer?
Yeah, for sure. It's a fine line, for sure. Because, ultimately, my dad, when I grew up, my dad raced. And so I grew up around racing, and he never bought me a race car or anything like that, but he taught me how to work on cars, and I learned a lot from him being around racing. And then Todd has kind of done the same thing. And a lot of the kids that come through our program, their families per se aren't in racing. And so, we definitely this, I have one hat on today, but typically on a daily basis, there's 5 or 6 of them we get thrown around there. And like you said earlier, some are funner than others, but ultimately it takes them all. And I enjoy stepping up and trying to do that the best I can. The business side of it is challenging for sure, but it's a challenge that I'm liking and liking to, and enjoying, getting to know it and trying to get better at it and all that. So, it's been a good couple of years, and looking forward to, seeing how far we can take DGR, in NASCAR racing and how high up we can keep going.
That's obviously the ultimate goal, is to continue to build the program and climb the ladder and become one of the powerhouse teams in all of NASCAR racing. But how do you balance maintaining what you have and building gradually as opposed to biting off more than you can chew?
Yeah, that's always the balance, and it's, we've probably at least tripled in people in the last year and a half. And so a lot of people ask the question, well, why do you do so much, right? Why do you have, multiple ARCA teams and multiple truck teams and late models and super late models? And, it's with racing, it all comes down to people. And so, we do all our own bodies in-house for the ARCA and the truck side and late models and everything. And starting to do our own chassis stuff. And so it takes X amount to have those quality people in the shop to be able to have that control over doing it. And so it's finding that balance. There's definitely, you can tip the scale very, very easily, both ways. And so it's walking that tightrope of balancing it all and not biting off more than you can chew. And so, with Ford coming on board this year, they've definitely given us so much tools and so much resources to be able to work with. And, just really nice being back in the Ford family. And they've helped us tremendously. And I see our future brightening up, daily.
Yeah, no question about it. Well, David, all the best to you. I know you're a busy guy. Thanks so much for taking time out of your day to join us.
Thanks for having me on the show. It's always a pleasure, and it was great talking to you.
Likewise, David Gilliland.
Sir, are you aware you were going 40 miles an hour? This is a residential area.
Sure, but I'm on my lawnmower? Wait, am I getting a ticket?
No, I've just never seen anyone top 9 miles an hour on one of those bad boys. And mow their entire lawn in 30 seconds? What got into you?
Well, it did fuel up at Sunoco this morning.
At Sunoco, we know how to fuel peak performance. We've been doing it for American racing for over 50 years. Fuel your best.
Well, that'll put a wrap on today's MRN crew call. Don't forget, we still want to see how you're watching these races, how you're listening to these races. Simply take a photo, or more importantly, shoot a video on your phone and send it to our Twitter feed at MRN Radio, but you have to use the hashtag NASCAR Tailgate. Who knows, we might use part of yours or maybe all of your video or pictures and tell your story on an upcoming episode here on the Motor Racing Network. Don't forget, stay in touch with everything NASCAR racing at MRN.com. Big thanks to David Gilliland for joining us on the program today. I'm Alex Hayden. Talk to you soon, everyone. So long.
MRN Crew Call was brought to you by Hercules Tires.